Morning, Tom from Leicester Fan TV here. Just got to work, but I thought I'd do a quick review of the game last night. Obviously very disappointing to lose in the manner we did, especially after getting ourselves in a win position. Not going to sit here and say we were great, because we were. It was a very average game from Leicester, average performance. But when you get yourself in a situation 2-1 and possibly could have been 3-1, as Harvey had looked up instead of being greedy and trying to shoot when he'd cut inside, and Lookman standing all on his own in the penalty area, crying for the ball to pass it just for him to tap it in. You know, game could have been completely different, but then you get to 94 minutes and a ball to the back post. We missed the header, it breaks, and, you know, Stephen Boldwine scores the equaliser, and you're thinking, right, boys, game management, see it out. Don't do anything silly, and then your most experienced player in the middle of the park, really, and a leader, a magician at best of times, who had a stinker last night, let's be honest. Yuri couldn't pass the ball to a person in blue half the time. Goes and tries to be the hero, and it didn't work. And what we're talking, from kickoff, 10 seconds later, Boldwine is breaking clear. Casper comes and stops. He's got to either come and completely destroy the bloke or stay on his line and narrow the angles best he can, and he does neither, really. Very harsh on Casper to, take some of the blame, but he has to do a little bit more than come off the line and stop halfway. If you're going to come all the way. And they get the winner, but all from the mistake of Yuri trying to play a ball through the middle of the park and trying to win a football match, what was very looked like we were going to win it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know we've won games by scoring goals after teams have scored before us. Man U at home, we scored by getting the ball. But all the goals we've done that have come from going wide, getting the ball back, laying it to centre half, and we go down the channel really quickly and hope we get a space, or that the opposition has switched off. But last night, Yuri took it on his head that he was going to drive through the middle of the park and try the Hollywood ball. The most outrageous ball of the night, probably the hardest ball of the night, and try and win a football match, and it's ending up in a 3-2 loss. I saw a comment last night that, and I just don't get it, that a person can even say that Yuri Tillemans is a championship player at best. Give your head a wobble for me there. Sorry, mate, not a chance in hell is he a championship player. He's a quality midfielder at the best of time. He's made Leicester tick for the past 3 seasons. Him and Madders, without them, we've been nowhere near what we've done for the last few years. So to say he's a championship player is actually quite laughable. But going back to the game, it's a tough one to take, and we now got to somehow to pick the players up before we go into a tough fixture against Brighton, who this season have been playing some very good football. We know that from the first game at the Brighton's ground, where they won, beat us. Luckily, if they hadn't had VAR on their side that day and some interesting decision, that we would have got something from that game. But look, Brendan's now going to pay the big bucks to pick the players up when we go to Brighton. Hopefully, this is JJ's time to come back into it. If there's any positive, to see JJ back on the pitch last night. Great to see him back on, looking what we'd seen before, getting the ball, knocking it, giving goes, running up the channels. That's what we want to see from JJ. I think we all know that, and we all know JJ's game. He likes to attack more than defend. But great to have him back. Hopefully he gets the game on Sunday, and hopefully we get him to see him starting. Daniel Amate will come back into the game. It will be a massive for me. Completely, for me, my defender of the season. No if or buts. Daniel Amate has been absolutely class this season. 1 or 2 small mistakes, but for me, probably the best centre-half we've had. So good to have him back in there. And Vestergaard sadly probably will be dropped, and it'll be Cags and Amate, who's at times they've done all right this season when they played together. And be interested to see if it's Justin goes to right back or left back, to see how he fits him in. Because for me, Luke Thomas had another good game last night. Very unlucky to be subbed. But the games are going to now, with all this backlog, are going to come thick and fast, and we need the players back as quick as